So how do you know how much money a YouTube channel makes? That's a good question. You want to be able to look at a channel, maybe see the number of subscribers or the number of views the channel is getting and determine, well, how much money is that channel making? There are a few different things in addition to what I just shared with you, the views and the subscribers, that you can actually look at and determine how much money they're making. So I'm going to show you what those are, and you'll have a much better idea by the end of this episode. So in this video, we're going to be talking about several things that you can look into. Are they making ad revenue, or is this channel making revenue from sponsorships, or do they have a business behind the channel, and how much money are they making there? So let's dive right in. And I want to start out by talking about two very different types of channels. There are channels like Mr. Beast that are for entertainment and focus on ad revenue. And then there are channels like the ones that I produce that are for businesses and generating leads. Okay, so two different types of channels. Now, on this type of channel, the Mr. Beast channel, typically to generate $10,000, you need about 1 million views. Okay, now for this strategy over here, the type of channel that I produce, to generate that same $10,000, you only need around 100 views, 100 versus 1 million. Okay, so there's quite a difference there. So you can't necessarily look at the cover of this book or this YouTube channel and just look at the subscribers or look at the views and know right from that how much revenue they're generating. So let's look at those two examples and let's talk about it from the perspective of ad revenue, okay? That's where most of this revenue is coming from. When I give you the example of 1 million views translates into $10,000, there are some variables there. That's kind of a good average, okay? And that average is coming from ad revenue. So if you have a video that gets 1 million views, then somewhere around $10,000 will be paid to you from YouTube for the ads that are shown around that. Now, how much ad revenue is paid out on the other side? And it might even be pennies, if not zero. Just 100 views, you're probably not going to be paid anything. When I'm talking about this side and generating $10,000 from just 100 views, we're talking about lead generation into your business and having a $10,000 offer. So now let's talk about sponsorships. Sponsorships are another way that you can make money on YouTube. And sponsorships kind of work on both sides, but are very heavily on this side when you're trying to get the most views possible, because sponsors will pay a higher price the more views your videos get. Now I want to share with you a story about the King of Random YouTube channel started by Grant Thompson. Now unfortunately he's no longer with us, but we had a conversation that is really revealing. Now he was really good at sponsorships and brand deals, right? He partnered with DeWalt, he partnered with Lowe's. He did a lot of builds and things, and so partnering with tools or those companies made a lot of sense. Now he can make one episode and a sponsor might pay him $25 or $50 or $75,000 just to mention their name or feature their products in his episode. Now his channel at that point had 11 million subscribers, and his videos were getting hundreds of thousands of views, if not millions of views. And so when I asked him, okay, how much did you get for sponsorships in the beginning? He says, I might make between $100 and $500 from a sponsor back when my channel was just getting started. And to get his channel to 11 million subscribers, that was a 10-year journey. So after 10 years, he could do sponsorships, around 50,000. So if you're analyzing a YouTube channel and you want to know how much revenue it's making, let's just look at these two things, ad revenue or sponsorships. Ad revenue, you know that they're making a lot of ad revenue simply by looking at the number of views. When they launch a video, if this video gets millions of views, you can assume that they're making a high amount of ad revenue. Now, it depends on the industry. If it's an industry where a lot of advertisers want to advertise, like the real estate space or any money-making space, that's going to be huge amounts of revenue. If you're in the parenting space or other spaces that people aren't willing to spend as much money, you'll still be getting ad revenue, but it will be less. So how do you know if they have a brand deal or if a video is sponsored? Well, there's actually rules that the person that's getting paid has to let them know, hey, this is a sponsored video, or this video is sponsored by so-and-so. Now, not all YouTubers follow that rule, but it's still pretty clear when they pause in their video and they start talking about a product or service that they recommend. Now, in most cases, if they mention a brand, you can assume that they're being sponsored, but I can think of a funny example. Shonduras was not sponsored by Taco Bell. but he just loved Taco Bell, and he talked about Taco Bell in all of his videos as if they were sponsoring him. Well, years later, they actually ended up sponsoring him because he was such a good advertiser for them. Now, how do you know if somebody is making revenue from YouTube in their business? This one's actually harder to tell if they're doing it right. It's obvious if the video is a commercial, but if it's a commercial, you're not going to see it because people don't like watching commercials on YouTube. But what I teach and what I implement with the over 50 YouTube channels that I produce, we make videos that teach and answer questions and don't sell. So how do you know that it's generating revenue in their business? Well, you can look at a couple things. You can go to the end of the video and you can see if they have a call to action. Are they giving away something for free? Like commonly we'll give away a free book or something. I give away this book. I tell people, go to natesyoutubebook.com. As long as you pay the shipping, you'll get this book for free. So I teach some principle that's in this book, how to succeed on YouTube. I tell them the value of this book, and then they go to my website. Now that generates a lead. In order to get the free plus shipping, they've got to pay the shipping amount, but they give me their name and their email address. So if you go to the end of the video, see if people are giving away a free gift like that and generating an email list. And if you go down into the description, see if they have any links. Like, does it say get Nate's free book? Go to Nate's free course. Check out Nate's webinar. And if there's links that go to my website, then you know that they're leveraging YouTube to generate leads for their business. And you know that they're doing it the right way if in the entire rest of the video from the beginning up until that call to action, there's nothing being sold at all. I'm gonna wrap up this video with two more things. I wanna show you an example, and then I wanna share with you one more story about Grant Thompson, a conversation that we had that's really key. All right, so here's a video of Noelle Randall.
So I have created an entire book teaching you all of this, and I'm going to give it to you absolutely free. I have a book called Real Estate.
So she continues to explain what her book is. She says what the link is that you can go to. I think it's Noelle's free book. But watch here, when I go to her description, you see several calls to action. You've got Call Noelle right there. You've got her free book. You've got several different links. So you can clearly see that she's got a business behind this YouTube video. In the video itself, she doesn't sell or pitch anything. She answers questions, she gives value. But as you saw at the end, she transitioned to that call to action that then leads people to the business. So several years ago, I was in Cabo San Lucas and I was having a conversation with Grant Thompson, who I mentioned earlier from the King of Random YouTube channel, and with Chris Crone. Chris Crone, I used to produce his YouTube channel. It was one of the first channels I produced that really took off. Now at the time of this conversation, Chris's channel was around 150,000 subscribers. And I could be slightly off on that number, but that's my memory, about 150,000. Now Grant's channel was at 11 million. And we are comparing the results of the channel. Grant's results were about $300,000 or $400,000 per month in revenue from ads and from sponsorships. And from Chris's channel, we were bringing in $600,000 a month in his business. So that's comparing 11 million subscribers to 150,000 subscribers. And Grant was just amazed that we had more revenue coming in from a much smaller channel. So I want you to understand this strategy as good as I do. So I packed everything in my head into this book so you'll understand the full strategy of how to leverage YouTube to generate leads and how to generate revenue from YouTube. So if you just cover the shipping cost, then this is my gift to you. Go to natesyoutubebook.com.